Hey, welcome back, guys. So I'm going to import that. So this is Marmoset Toolbag. I'm going to import that FBX file we exported out to Substance Painter and drop this in here. Okay, so we have that in here. So since we had only three texture sets in Substance Painter, we're just going to we still have that because we exported it as FBX. We still have that corresponding maps also in here, just the way it is in Substance Painter, based on those color we kind of created for them instead of Maya. So that kind of makes it easier for us. So let me just choose a scene for this that works best for us. Okay, let's use this default. So we have the materials there. So I'll click on the material. Okay, let's work with the classic. I'm very familiar with the classic because we have our material just on the side there. So we have the bats, the Z-nails, and the ring pokers. So I'll select this now. So we have the normal map in here. We're going to import expected out maps from Substance Painter in here. So for this, I'm going to use this is the bats. That's okay. Yeah, this is that one for the blood stain. I'll leave that one for now. I'm going to be working with the regular one. So this is the regular one. So that's the OpenGL normal map. That's what we need for this normal map. For this normal map slot. So if I zoom in now, you can see the details in there now. Okay. Then we have the albedo map. So let's plug in the albedo map in here. Alright. And then let's go for the roughness map. So plug in our roughness map in here. Then we have the metallic map just below it for the metalness map. So let's look for the corresponding roughness map. Okay. Probably even invert this. Okay. Yes. Let me just let's leave this inverted. Okay. Then the metalness, we don't really have any metalness texture in there, but let's just plug in the cities here, completely black, nothing in there. So we are cool. If you invert that, let's see what that gives us. Okay, no, let me leave that the way it is. So we're all good now. We're all good now. We're all good now. This is what we want. So we go to the sky material. Let me just duplicate that. Control D to duplicate that. I'm going to be plugging in a different HDRI, but this HDRI will be in form of an image format. It will be an image for like particularly a PSD format. So let me just plug this in here. Sunrise. And right off the bat, we have something like this. Okay. So this is just the base lighting though. We're still going to be creating a more precise lighting in here. So I'm changing this to color. Let me just change the color to something a bit darker. So I'm changing that mode to color instead. So I don't want to be seeing the blurriness of the background behind this. I just want a plain solid color for this. Okay. Let's go to the next map, which is the rings and pokers. And we're going to repeat the same process also. Let me just go to where I saved that maps. So let me just scroll down. Okay, so we have, let's just plug. Okay, it's not working. Oh, I made a mistake. I'm not supposed, this is the texture, this is the albedo map. I'm supposed to plug in the normal map in there. So let me just go and plug in that normal OpenGL. Okay, that's it. Alright, that's the one we need. You can see details in there now. So let us quickly save this file just to be on the safe side. So let's do a quick save for this. Okay. Let's see. Then let's carry on. So for the albedo map now, we can plug that map we used initially. So this is it. It's not too obvious in there though. It's supposed to be a bit darker than this. Maybe I will just change the color later on. But let's just plug other maps, the other maps we need in here first. So let's look for the roughness map. This is the roughness map. Then the metalness map. Let's scroll down, find that metal. Yeah, this is it. Okay. Let's see what happened. No. Let's leave this uninverted. Okay. Yeah, this is fine. This looks fine. This looks fine. So I'm just going to darken this color a bit more. No, that's way too dark. Let me just go around here. Somewhere around here should be fine. Okay. I'm just guessing. Maybe I might even need to even readjust the textures against slow instead of Substance Painter. That's completely up to you though. If you want to do that, you can always do that if you want to. There's no end to this actually. You always need to go back and forth until you have your desired result. So now for the nails, same process. Okay. Alright. So let me just plug this in. Okay. For the roughness also the same procedures, the same procedure too, just to plug all of this in. Okay. All right. Yeah, this is fine. Everything is working correctly. Think now we can think now we can safely move to start adding some more lights to this. So we can start working on the lights now. Okay. So we're basically going to be using like a 3-point light, headlight, more of like a rim light, and then just two lights on the left hand side and on the right hand side just to raise up the ambience of the material a bit more. Okay, so let's see, let's use this ray tracing now. So go to render, turn on ray tracing. So this will kind of help the render look a bit better. Okay, so let me just get this like so. I'm clicking shift and moving the cursor just to, and I shift hold right click and then move the cursor, just move the mouse just to change the lights. Just basically the same way we did it also in Substance Painter, basically the same way. And the same navigation also in here. Okay. So for this light, let me just turn that off. Okay, let me turn it on. Let's see. I want to kind of see this before I kind of, let me just check go by the side. So open my mouse cursor on the side like so, and I hit the light icon to bring in a light object in here. So that will kind of, the light kind of hit from the angle you kind of created it from, which is kind of cool though. So let me see if I can change the type to direction now. Okay. Then I'll kind of rotate this. No, that's way too much. Just go slightly like so, just to push tilt this down a bit more. Okay. Maybe we won't raise it up. Okay. Let me just give it a more orangish color, a color tone to it. So now I can turn off the skylight now. So I can have one light source in here now. I can start actually working with. So I go to the top view, and I'll just hit the create a new light for this. So that will create the light from the top view based on the camera angle. Something like this looks cool. Just to have those shadows casting from the, just to have the shadows kind of coming out from the spotlight on top of it. Just give the lighting a bit more contrast. Yeah, this looks fine. So from this angle also, I'm going to create another new light. Just create a new light here. Still the same spotlight though, but I'm going to change this up a bit. Let me just see, what can we change? The diameter, let me change the diameter up a bit because I don't want it to be too bright and casting at harsh highlight on that. So this is kind of softening out this light, that light a bit. Now give it a more of a bluish tone. Maybe go towards the brighter side. Something like this should be fine. I don't want it to be too much because we're still going to bring back our skylights. It's kind of add more color variation of lighting on our model. But though this light looks more dramatic though, you can keep this if you want to. So this is our initial lights we had on before we kind of brought in our own image to light up our scene. So I'm just gonna figure out which particular one to use in between these two. This one of sunrise has more of a yellowish tone to it. Let me take down the brightness of that. I just need the light to just kind of add a bit more what should I use, like overall lighting, like a more of a global illuminated light around the model, but not really too aggressive to kind of delete or blur or fade out the harsh shadows we had from the spotlight on top. So I like how the shadow is from the, like how that shadow is from the top. Let me see, wait, let's see how the shadow is from the top. With both of them turned off now, see how the shadow is from the top. I still want to keep this dramatic light or shadowing setup on my model, but still having some kind of skylight kind of lift up the lighting of the scene itself. Input this to color also. Okay, let's see. Yeah, this actually looks cool though. This particular light actually looks cool though. You can still see the shadow in there. You can see the shadow. So if you decide to even keep this as it is, that's also cool. But the idea is to try it. Let me see if I can add the child lights here. So clicking on this on the HDRI image on that bright spot, so you kind of create another additional light in there that you can kind of brighten up now. So I use the child light and just brighten this up. So you see what where it's kind of hitting on the model now. So I don't want it to be too intense though, right? So I want to kind of bring it down. Something like this looks cool. Something like this actually looks cool. So let's see. I'm just turning. I'm moving the lights, the HDRI light now around this. Okay. Let's see what can we do in here. What can we adjust in here? So this is the other lights. I'm just trying to figure out which particular one to kind of keep. The boat actually looks cool though, but the sunrise has a more yellowish tone to it. Let me see if we can add another child light here. Let me just put this around here. It doesn't seem to be doing much though. If I decrease that, it doesn't seem to be doing much. But the cool idea behind this is that now you have two light setups to kind of use and then figure out which one works best for you. And they're both giving good results. At least using this game engine, Marmoset Toolbag, that gives you a render similar to a game engine is not too bad. Not too bad. But I believe rendering this instead of Arnold, instead of Maya will give a better results. But the way it is right now is not too bad. It's actually cool. You can actually live with this. Let me just do a capture this. I can actually render this out. Let me just copy all this light setup and I'll drag all this light setup just below the skylights. Just to put that underneath the skylight. So the skylight will be like the folder itself holding every other light. So when I kind of scrub and rotate my HDR lights, it moves our artificial lights around also, which is actually cool. Let me just find a good spot for this. Let me find a good spot for this. Okay. This looks cool. It's completely up to you though. It's completely up to you though. So I think we can actually do a good render from this spot. So let's see what we have here in the render from the main camera settings. The main camera setting now we can actually adjust can actually do some color corrections on this flay. There isn't any glowing material in here, so I don't think this will do much. I don't think this will actually do much on this. Let's see what else we can adjust in here. Mm, okay, tone mapping. Let's change green hard, not too bright. ACs are much better, even much better. I like this ACs. This actually looks cool. ACs actually looks cool. But let me just brighten this up a bit. Let's see if I can brighten this up a bit. I like how it gives more contrast to the entire textures. Like let me just brighten bloom, brighten this up maybe. But this feels too dark though. If you want to brighten your own up also, you can by manipulating or changing the brightness of the lights, or even just the brightness of the HDR in your scene. That will kind of fix some of those dark, contrasty shadows you have on the model now with the AC's tone mapping. Okay, let me increase the brightness a bit. Yes, let me increase it. Okay, let me do a general brightness in here. Yeah, that kind of fixes some of that. Making the scene feel more bright, a bit more brighter. This is actually cool though. I think this is a good spot kind of render this out as. Let's see. Let's go to render and let's do a render for this. But basically, the idea for this tutorial is actually show you guys various options you can actually use to kind of get your renders looking cool with your own predefined light setup, with using a combination of HDRI light and artificial light instead of Marmoset Toolbag. So now for the render, let's see. Let's see, there's something else you can adjust in here. Uh, yeah, this fog. Let me kind of add this fog to kind of add some kind of atmosphere to the background. So let me see if I can change. Let's see. This fog is not completely necessary though, but just actually adding that there just to give the background a bit more atmospheric mood to it. Let me see. Nah, that's way too much. That's just way too much. You're going to be seeing the atmosphere mostly on the spotlight, mostly on the spotlight or light you added in your scene. So the rays of that light are kind of the fog kind of give the rays of those light some kind of atmosphere feeling to it. Let me kind of change the color. Let me something. No, this is too no, this is too disco like. I don't want this. So kind of lighten this up a bit more, just to have just a bit of that bluish tone to it. Let me see, there's something else you can change. Linear looks fine though. Something like this should work. Okay, it should work. You can actually do a render of this. You can actually do a render of this. I think this is cool. So click on render. Let's see. Let's change the resolution of this. Let's go down. Let's see. There's something else you can adjust. Ambient occlusion. It's not really doing much though. Not really doing much though. You can't really see what is doing in there. Let me turn on this specular. No, nothing. No, look up. No. Not doing much, not really doing much. This local reflection actually works better without this ray tracing on, but ray tracing gives a better result. Let me just go down and kind of render this out. So on the image setting, let's change this to 2K. Everything else looks fine. Yeah, everything else looks fine. Nothing else. I don't think there's anything else to adjust in here. Everything else looks fine. Then open image location. So this should be saving in here. Let me see if I can redirect that to a different file path to kind of render this out in. Okay. Let me just rename this. So we're basically done with this. Nothing much else to do in here than to just render this out. And then you can kind of change different views and then kind of render out different views to your satisfaction. Okay, so I rendered that. Let me see. That is empty. It didn't even really render out the file path I specified. It rendered out to my desktop, but that's fine. So thank you guys for watching.